wrenched out. Oh my God. Wrenched out of her hand. No! 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 Sexism. Okay? Sexism. Today we're going to be talking about sexism and how this guy, Giles Corren, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, but that's how you pronounce it. Basically, he thinks that the publishing industry, men are write-offs when it comes to novels. Now, I tried to get the article from the Times, but I don't have a Times subscription and the library is closed, so I can't read this article. So we're going to have to stick with these images today. So basically, Corren declares the death of the male author, partially because people made fun of his book. By the way, we'll be talking about that because this guy, his novel is considered one of the worst winners of the Bad Sex Scene Award. So he's a terrible writer who essentially is taking out his frustration on women, okay? He thinks that because he's a man, he's being discriminated against. And I'm here to argue the point that he is just a shitty author who has not really put much work into improving from the critique that he was given. Anyway, he writes in his article here, men are write-offs when it comes to novels. Unless you are Richard Osman or Robert Galbraith, who's really a woman anyway, it's clear writing is no job for a man, all right? For a macho, extra man with 5 testicles. Anyway, in his article, he at some point writes, what a plonker he is. But it's by a bloke, so no one will read it. Even my own 2005 novel, Shinkala, remember? Shinkala by Giles Corren, won the worst sex scene. So this guy is really not a good writer. So he's talking about his bad novel, and he's using it as a projection on women. And so he's like, okay, since my book wasn't liked, I got it. It must be the women. Okay, I'm going to go after them with a pitchfork. Okay, and snatch them. So he writes, even my own 2005 novel, Winkler, okay, was no sooner in print than winning the Bad Sex Award. I will show you, by the way. This is the scene here. I'll be showing you the bad sex scene. Okay, 3 years of effort. If this is 3 years of effort, he needs to start listening to critique and stop blaming women for his problems and his downcomings, okay? He goes on 3 years of effort, some perfectly decently words in roughly the right order, and all I got was a load of raspberries blown by a room full of bloomy virgins who had only come for the free suave and strippers. Scorn and mockery, boys, scorn and mockery. That's all there is in the novelist's life. Not really. In your life, yes. I know of countless novelists who really live a good life and are essentially beloved. Okay? And this is the sex scene he's talking about. Okay? Shinkala by Corren. And he came hard in her mouth. And his jumped around and rattled on her teeth. Look. I happen to be a man. Okay? And I happen to have what he's talking about. In no way, even when it's as hard as it can get, does a penis rattle around and jump around. Okay? Maybe a bit of spasm here and there, but rattle, jump, that's too much. No man's penis does that, okay? And he blacked out. No, you might get, sloppy, but blacked out, no. And she took out of her mouth and lifted herself from his face and whipped the pillow away, and he gasped and glucked at the air. And he came again. Look, man, I don't know, maybe as I said, the protagonist must have 5 balls there, because I'm not gonna lie, coming again It seemed like he came hard before. Okay, the load was out, but it's coming out again. What? Dude, he has a reserve. Okay, he's got like reserve testicles. Anyway, so hard that his wrenched out. Oh my God. Wrenched out of her hand. No! 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 That never happens. The penis doesn't have a life of its own. It doesn't go on a strike. Okay? A penis doesn't go on a strike. It doesn't wrench. And a shot of, wrenched out of her hand, and a shot of it hit him straight in the eye. The penis does not spray around as if it's a hose. He goes on and stung like nothing he had ever had in there. Stung? Anyway, he continues and he yelled with the pain. No, 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 but the yell could have been anything. And as she grabbed at his which was leaping around. No! No! Which was leaping around like a no! Around like a shower dropped in an empty path. No! 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 She scratched his back deeply with the nails of both hands. No! And he shot 3 more times in thick stripes on her chest like Zorro. I did a Ziba in the air, by the way. This is the most hilarious shit I've ever seen. Everyone was reacting to that. By the way, that is the worst sexy scene I have ever read in my life. I have read better writing from 50 Shades of Grey. Reddit was really having a great time with this guy. I unironically wish I had the self-confidence of these kinds of people to just 100% believe in my ability, to the point where even when I'm being laughed at by millions, I would just be like, I am the Van Gogh of my time. When I am dead, then you will know. I would probably be a massive asshole, but, well, sacrifices. I have self-confidence of Kafka. Unfortunately, I lack his skills though. Oh my god, this is hilarious. My novel failed, so of course no man can write a successful novel. It's like really respectable cope, just in terms of scale. This is Hopium and Copium of the greatest degree I've ever seen. It gets better when you realize even the article itself is poorly written. The female orgasm is a myth, and no man can find the clit. I will not be hoodwinked by anyone claiming otherwise. Yes. I too have read the Ben Shapiro autobiography. It's trying so hard to be blood meridian. Oh my god. War was always here. Before man was, war waited for him. The ultimate trade, awaiting its ultimate practitioner, like Zorro. Anyway, Twitter also had a blast with this guy. This might be the most powerful case of author cope I have ever seen. Author cope. This guy is coping so hard. Literally the entire internet back then in October came together to bash him. Starting to think this guy might be bad. Okay, Coren has been involved in a number of controversies, including preaching a privacy injunction, making statements expressing anti-Polish sentiment, and expressing pleasure at the death of a young writer. Woof! And Shinkala was the subject of a Sky Arts documentary entitled My Failed Novel, which featured Jeffrey Hanif and various other authors. The documentary was broader meditation on the subject of failure, but focused on the novel itself, which garnered €30,000 advance, yet sold 771 copies in hardback and 1,400 in paperback. Now, I would like to emphasize how little that is, because that's not going to really be able to earn it out. You need a lot more than that, okay? The paperback, 771 hard copy hardback is good enough to earn out maybe a $10,000 advance with the paperback, okay? So that's off by 20,000 right there. His novel is considered, yeah, this one we saw. I vividly remember the first time I read this, 2008. I didn't know what it was then, but his pathetic rant on his colleagues was the earliest introduction to British disease. Basically, he has a history. That's what people are trying to get across. He has a history of being, you know, the sort of guy that makes all this nonsense just to cope. So, we're going to end this video here. I would like to talk to all fellow male authors out there, or writers. If you have a bad book and people criticize it, please do not resort to sexism, racism, homophobia, or any hateful stuff, because you are writing in an art. In art, people write bad art or make bad art on the way to making good art. If you make bad art, don't worry about it. Just focus on getting better. I am sure the gods will be there to protect you, okay?